I purchased this table on Facebook Marketplace for $400. The actual retail price of this table originally is $2,000. It's a restoration hardware table, and it's really cool looking. It's supposedly made out of reclaimed lumber from the UK. Is that true? I don't know, but it looked interesting. So late at night when I was scouring the Facebook Marketplace, I was like, I have to go get this table. So I reached out to the woman. She said, come pick it up in the morning. I said, is there anything wrong with this table before I come out? And she said, it's a little wobbly, and she sent me some videos. And when I went to pick it up, it was much more wobbly than advertised. So I should have haggled a little bit. But the guy that I was buying it from, the woman's husband, he was a 6'8" former NFL defensive lineman. I wasn't really in the mood to haggle.
Why the hell you dressed like a chicken?
There's some cracks in the base, and the top needed a good refinishing. So today I'm gonna clean it off, sand it down, repair the base, and see if we can get this table back to life. Let's do it. So I'm not gonna go too heavy on this. It's just some dish soap and water. I just wanna kind of see if I can get some junk out. I'm not sure if I should be doing this, but I'm not gonna leave it saturated. I'm gonna wipe it off, dry it off. Of course, the grain will still be wet for a while, but like, I don't know if it's from the reclaimed lumber or if it's actual dirt and grime. I think it's a little bit of both, mostly dirt and grime. They did have children, so that's all that really needs to be said.
Are you washing it? Good job.
I just want to see. It's a very thin layer of dirt. There's not much. But see, like, I just went through it. So I would go through the cracks. That's how I would do it. Not the surface. And then that should do it. Yeah, this is done. Like, if I go like this, there's no residue. So you're good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Already, it's already clean here. Like, look at what you did here. Like, that's how you know if it's dirt or not. I don't.
Okay, now that the table is all clean and I give it a good sanding, I am kind of scraping off any of the junk that's not part of the reclaimed wood. There's little glitter, pieces of glitter, and if anyone grew up with sisters, you know that glitter doesn't come out of anything, ever. And so I'm literally scraping out individual pieces of glitter because it's gonna be underneath the new finish. And then I'm spraying it out with this compressed air. I'm not gonna be able to get all the glitter, but I'm just trying to get some of it so that the, you know, the table will look fantastic if it was glittery, but that's really not what I'm going for. So, an interesting road bump. Speed bump? Also, I took this Watco Danish Oil in the natural finish and I hit it over the parts that I sanded to see if it would match the old finish, and it's pretty close. It's not exactly the right tone, but I think it's good enough. It's not gonna be perfect, but it'll do the job. So this is Danish Oil, and this is the previously sanded surface. So you can see it's sort of matching, sort of blending in with what we've got. This is existing original. This is the Danish Oil. So it's close. So before I do the Danish Oil, I'm going to get some epoxy and just fill in these cracks. They look really cool, but just to preserve the life of the table, any big crack or hole, I'm going to hit with epoxy. This guy right here, epoxy. Some of these cracks, epoxy. I've never used epoxy before, so that should be an adventure. Let's go. Before using any epoxy, I decided to use Watco's Danish Oil first. I'm not sure the order of operations for this kind of thing. Is it epoxy first or stain and varnish first? I don't know. So I just opted to use the Danish Oil, get everything uniform, and then I'm going to go in and use epoxy. So I'm just using a shop rag to wipe on the Danish Oil, and it goes on nice and easy, and it actually matches fairly well to the original finish, as I mentioned before. Because I was too afraid to use the clear epoxy, I didn't. I'm not going to fill in these big long cracks. I got this other stuff though for the big gouges and holes. It's called Quick Wood. Guys, if you've been looking for fast and easy wood repairs, well, I've got just the stuff for you. JB Weld makes Quick Wood, and wow, that's all I can say. Wow. No, but this stuff is cool. You mix it up and it's a putty, and then you just stick it into, here we go. Here we go. You apply it to the holes that you need to fill, and then it hardens into magical epoxy. I did try to use sawdust in combination with this stuff, and that was not a good idea. The sawdust didn't take to the epoxy, so don't do that. One of my most recent revelations has been this General Finishes Endurovar water-based polyurethane. It is awesome. I've been using Minwax's polyacrylic for 8 or 9 years, and this General Finishes stuff is just a joy to use. It doesn't show streaks, it dries very quickly, it doesn't really yellow, and yeah, I'm super impressed. So check this stuff out if you've been using polyacrylic, because I'm never going back. Okay, the next thing is that this was wobbly when I was checking it out at their house. But what they didn't realize is once you take this piece off, you can access these bolts here. So I just did a test try and I tightened these bolts and the wobble was gone. So I think we're good on that front. If I need to dig a little deeper, I could do that at any time. But one thing I didn't notice when I was at their house buying the table was that there's actually a crack here. Now this was built by using laminated pieces of wood. These are multiple pieces of wood glued together, and then they were probably cut with a bandsaw to get it to shape. So there's this big crack going up the middle here of this lamination. So what I'm going to do is scrape off the old glue that either they put on when they were building it or the homeowner tried to fix. And I'm gonna split it apart. I should be able to get it apart a little bit. And then I'm gonna glue it and clamp the hell out of it, and it should be as good as new, or maybe even better. The glue wasn't as bad as I thought, so I'm just scraping off some surface level stuff, and then I'm going to pry this open with a Phillips head screwdriver and put some glue in between the joint. I'm using a scrap piece of cardboard from the Quickwood package, and I'm rubbing that, and I'm sticking that, okay. I'm pushing it into the joint to distribute the glue evenly. That was much more difficult than it needed to be. Thanks, Quickwood cardboard packaging. Once the glue's in, I'm using a bunch of clamps and clamping it together. Simple. Once that dried, I took the base inside the house and I'm going to attach the other piece of the base. You know, I was always sort of mystified with restoration hardware furniture. Because it was so expensive, you just kind of expect quality. And either this thing is very old or it's just simply not the case. I'm not saying it's not well made, but it's really the basic stuff that you kind of see. And maybe it's got really great marketing, advertising, and some brand recognition going for it. But it's just a laminated base. It looks like there's even some veneer they're using. I'm not sure that this base is reclaimed wood, to be honest with you. The top sports plywood with hopefully reclaimed wood on top of it, but it's really nothing extra special. And again, maybe it's the wear and tear, but not super impressed in restoration hardware. But then again, who am I? Nobody. Hello, everybody! Once I took this thing aside, I noticed that this little pillar was cracked. So I'm just gonna apply some wood glue, clamp it up, and call it good. You good, bro? I'm good. Bro.